From the News Channel 8 studios, let's talk live with your hosts, Natasha Barrett and Melanie Hastings.
Got some food
and drinks.
It's a good day here on set.
Food and drinks.
So let's move on. What is the best way to build up a workplace relationship?
Well, maybe we can improve ours here. Stephen Gaffney is here to talk a little bit about this. Stephen, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So this is, there are apparently a lot of issues going on in a lot of different workplaces, right?
Yes, but it's not uncommon for a particular workplace. It's actually true for all of them.
Okay.
In the end, and this is what the session is about, we're all liars.
Oh. We're all liars.
Yeah, we are. Let's face it.
Why? How's this work out?
So people say, oh, I'm not a liar. Oh, really? So you've never withheld. And they go, well, that's not that's not lying.
Different is what they would say, right?
I just didn't mention that. Right? One of those kind of things.
And when somebody does that, how do we feel towards them? Especially if we make an entirely different decision. You know, and so that in the end, people find out the truth. In fact, I think we live in the great age of transparency. We're talking about Twitter, Facebook, internet. People find out the truth. So you know what? Bad news or difficult things about us is always better coming from us than if somebody else discovers it. So the whole idea is to get people to be more forthcoming, and the relationships improve, and then the workplace gets better.
Interesting.
We're both going.
We're thinking. I mean,
where do we go from here?
Yeah. I think you guys talk a lot here. You know, I'm just filling in, but from what I've seen, you talk about. You know, we talk a lot about personal relationships. Is the dynamic just different in the workplace, or what's going on there that contributes to this problem that's apparently widespread?
Well, the big problem is not what people say. It's actually what they don't say. It's what they leave out. And think about this. Parents out there are probably most worried not about what the kids say, what their children say. It's what children do not say. What worries us isn't about what our wife or our husband says. It's what they don't say. What worries about us isn't what our boss says. It's what our boss leaves out.
You know,
by the way, there's a reorg and your job has changed. Would have been nice to know.
Yeah, that would have been nice to know. But when we talk about like colleague to colleague, maybe not boss and you know underling, what do you need to be saying that you're not? Because I think people hold back on purpose because they're not comfortable.
Yeah, and the number one reason why people lie or withhold is because of fear. Fear of retribution, fear it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, fear they're going to take it the wrong way. So what we can do better is to get people to feel more safe, and then they're going to tell us the truth. And people will say, really? Well, think about it this way. Which takes more psychological energy, to keep something inside or to let it out? And usually once we let it out, as long as it's safe to let it out, we feel so much better. So people want to tell us the truth if we just create that safe environment.
Steve,
and that's
let's
the key.
try it with Philip.
Okay.
Philip.
I
can put you
I'll
on
be
the
the counselor. You guys go.
No,
right.
What is on your chest right now?
I just really can't stop thinking about your shiny shoes.
You can wear them later. What size are your shoes?
But I mean, you know, if we're talking about like, you know, if it's the relationship with the employee and the boss, what if frankly you just don't have a boss that seems that approachable? Or is that the responsibility of the boss to work on being more approachable? Or how do you work through that stuff? Because I mean, frankly, maybe it would be detrimental to approach your boss about something that's bothering you. There's certainly people who are afraid of that kind of stuff too.
Absolutely, and that's because a lot of folks create an environment where it's not safe. They'll say, oh, have you ever had somebody do this to you? I love honesty. Please, give me honest feedback. You can say anything to me.
Right.
And then you say something they don't like, and they go, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I
they
do
get all
that all the
defensive,
time.
and you're like, note to self, never bring that up again.
Never talk to her again.
Right.
Notice how I said her.
Her. That's always the problem.
Is it really always the problem?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Do you see this difference with sexes in the workplace?
I know, we were just talking about that earlier.
Let's go right there. Let's take it there.
People say that all the time, but the truth is we all lie. And I think it's easy to, you know, make the other person, the other sex, the other person think, oh, well, it's them. But we all do this. We all get scared. Think about this. Look, it's even happening right now in the political news. The Solandra company is now, you know, that just went bankrupt. It's now coming out that the White House, or at least some folks, were really worried about this. I don't know who's coaching the president, but they're doing a horrible job. What they should do is actually get ahead of the news cycle. I even think it's ABC that broke the news. And what they're not doing, which people often don't do in our lives, we play response mode and catch up instead of saying, you know what, here's what we know, here's what we don't know, and we made some mistakes, or whatever the case may be. People are incredibly forgiving if we're just more forthcoming proactively. But see, if we discover something, which is now what's happening, we're all wondering, what else? What else is going on?
Oh, there's always the what else.
And
There's
so
always
if we And so how we can avoid that is just be more forthcoming.
Because you say this has a really significant negative impact on workplace productivity too. That if you're having issues with your boss or a coworker or whatever, that can have an impact on what you're getting done. And also, you talk about people actually will leave their job over relationship stuff before they might leave over money. That shocked me. Yeah.
The number one reason why people leave a job is because of relationships issues. And when we actually look at the research further, it's usually our relationship with our boss. It outranks money, benefits, and all that. And yet companies spend so much about, well, the benefits and money. Look, I'm not saying people don't care about money, but they just want to be told the truth. How often have you thought in your career, somewhere along the line, you found out later what the truth was, and you just thought, if they were just honest, I would have been able to deal with it. But now, not only am I upset with them, but now I'm wondering, what else haven't they said?
And it's so interesting that people will be more loyal to whoever they're working for or with because they have a good relationship rather than, hey, I could get more money elsewhere. That wins over a lot more people when it comes down to their job.
When I'm doing seminars, I often ask people, how many of you know of a job right now you could get paid better? And people almost always raise their hand.
Yeah.
I'll say, so why aren't you there? And usually the reason is because they like it here. And if they don't like it here, in the end they will leave. And people will say, well, that's not happening. Turnover is low right now. True, because of the economy. But when the economy improves, all the people that really are upset, underlying upset, will leave the organization. So what we can do better, what organizations can do better, is to create that environment where we tell the truth. So we've got to give people the tools to actually create that honest environment and give people the tools to, as you were saying earlier, what if you got to tell somebody something and they're going to get defensive? There's specific tools to deal with that. And one of the things we can do is if we feel worked up or embarrassed or concerned, I'm going to share this and they're going to flip out, is to say, look, I got to say some bad news.
Yeah.
So prepare them before it comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had somebody do this? Look, I got to tell you something, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then they tell you, and it really is that bad.
It really is that bad. Like, Steve Gaffney, you're hilarious. Thanks for coming on. Good to see you again.
Good stuff. Thank you.
All right, coming up on the show, it could be the end of the road for some of the Real Housewives of New York. This has got us fired up.
This is big.
We're going to tell you who might not be coming back and what we think.
Plus, speaking of New York, fashion was in full swing there. We'll take a look at some of the upcoming trends from Fashion Week. Plus,
Mexicano food. Yeah, that's right. It's my favorite. We're celebrating Mexican Independence Day with some traditional fare and some delicious drinks. Just for you, Philip.
Great. And if you want more, you can check out our Facebook page for some behind-the-scenes pictures, or you can check out our blog at tbd.com. Just enter in the words, Let's Talk Live. We'll be right back.